What's up? Clearly, it's a laid back day. I am gonna spend a couple minutes with you talking about what I wish I knew before starting this faith influencing journey. But before we get started, you know what I'm gonna tell you to do. Stop what you're doing, press the subscribe button, hit the notification bell so you're always notified when a new video goes up. And then I want you to get your snack, settle in, and let's chat a bit. Okay, so like I said, it is a very relaxed day. I am just chilling today, and I thought I'd chat with you a little bit instead of like our regular vlogging sessions or, you know, a pretty moment or a pretty good coffee, things like that. Like, just, I really just want to chat with y'all, hang out a little bit. And one of the things that it was suggested that you guys may want to know about is things I wish I knew before I started this journey, right? Oh, also, I told y'all to get a snack because I have a snack. I am eating corned beef hash and grits. So if I pause a couple of times to like stuff my face, we good, right? We good. Oh, also, Hey Pretty merch. It is at heyprettylife.com. You just hit the shop button. You can get all of the merch there. We've been dropping some new stuff. So if you have not checked it out, go check it out. We're going to continue to add things as the seasons change. And as we get closer to our conference, there's going to be some special things on there for you. So make sure that you are going to heyprettylife.com, not only to get your tickets for a conference, but to get your Hey Pretty merch. And also follow me on IG for merch at Hey Pretty merch. Hey Pretty merch on IG. Okay, now we got all the way. Let's talk about what I wish I knew. All right, so first things first, what I wish I knew before starting this journey is that it is nothing like other influencing. So it's not like lifestyle branding. It's not like not branding, but lifestyle influencing. It's not like cooking influencing. It's not like being an artist. It's nothing like that. And so it is very different to really consider what your content is going to be, because with all of those and with most of what you see on social media, of course you have to map out what you're posting, how often you're posting, determine who your audience is, all that other stuff, right? But it's very different for faith influencing. So it's very difficult to get traction. That's really where I'm going with this. Like, it's very difficult to get traction because I'm not posting about clothes all the time. I'm not posting about different brands all the time. I don't have tons and tons of vlogs. Like, yes, I'm getting into vlogging, but it's not as much as what you see like lifestyle influencers doing. So it's difficult to get traction. And I didn't know that before. I thought, hey, you just put your stuff out there and then you kind of vibe with people and it kind of flows that way. But faith influencing is a very, very, very small niche. Very small niche, because you are consistently talking about faith, relationship with God, relationship with others, positivity. And let's be very real, like, while there's a lot of positive things on social media, it's not necessarily faith-based positivity. So that is difficult and it is different. And so you have to be strategic in your content just as much as other influencers, but it's still very, very hard. It is very hard. And you still have to find your own niche within that niche of faith influencing. So I wish I knew that before. Let me see. What's another thing that I wish I knew? That it is just as difficult being a faith girl on social media as it is like in real life. Like, and I don't mean that in a negative way. I just mean, like, you have this idea that you can put whatever you want out and it's gonna be fine. People take it or leave it, whatever. But it's not the case. Like, you still have the same amount of anxiety posting as you do like in real life, like when you're in real situations. Like for example, I work in higher education, right? And so there is a very fine line between what you can say at work, how you can engage with people, how you share about your faith, like all that other stuff, right? Excuse me. And so there is anxiety sometimes, like, okay, can I say this? Can I move like this? You know, blah, blah. It's the same on social media. Just because you don't see the people reading your stuff, you still like, okay, are they gonna understand what I'm saying? Is this gonna resonate with them? God, am I using the right words to really pierce their hearts? Like you have the same anxieties. Just because you don't see the people on social media does not mean that you're not affected by whether or not they connect with you or if they think you're crazy. It's the same thing. It's absolutely the same thing. Another thing that I wish that I knew is that every day I'm not gonna want to do it. I love teaching. I love engaging. I love really teaching people about to grow lists and loving yourself so you can love others better. Like I really love that. By the way, be on the lookout for some courses that are going to drop in the comments below if you want a course on relationship building. So not just with your friends or your significant other, but like relationship building with yourself, business relationships. Let me know if you want that. But anyways, so I love that, but I don't always love posting. I don't always love social media. I really don't. Like there are things that are super triggering, right? Like sometimes what other people post, sometimes what other people don't post, sometimes how people engage with me. It can be super, super triggering. Like to have people judge you in your DMs, to send you crazy messages. Like, okay, let's give an example. Many of you, if you've been following me for a while, you may have noticed like shifts in my posts, right? And so, you know, it went from very personal to very focused on like my faith content, and now it's kind of a mix. But I don't post as much as my family as I did anymore. And the reason that I don't do that is because I received some pretty uncomfortable things, right? Like, for example, Robert and I have a beautiful, beautiful relationship. We've been married for 10 years. He is absolutely my person, right? But people would make statements, oh, it's not really like that for them. It can't be like that. She's always posting these special posts to him, but he never posts about her. So they really are not, you know, as close as she says, or they're really not as happy as she says. And then my sons don't always want to take pictures or do video. And they're boys, they're rough and tumble, so they don't always look great. Like they're scratched up, they're running around, they're sweaty, and we would get, you know, comments, oh, why would you post them like that? Like it was a lot. And so I have pulled back. And let me be very clear. There's nothing wrong with me and Rob. We are very happy. But Rob is not a social media person. If you go to his own IG page, there's nothing there. Like he does not post. He's not that person. That's not what he's into. He takes care of me at home. If you see us in the street, you can tell, like, we good. Like, we're real good over here, but he's just not that type of person. My sons are children. Like, if they don't want to be posted, I'm not going to be posting them. And if they don't want to get dressed up, I'm not going to dress them up. If they want to go have fun, they're going to go have fun. It is not a requirement that they subject themselves to this because this is my calling. It's not a requirement. I post Evie a lot because Evie likes cameras. She loves video, she loves pictures, and also she's adopted, and so this is a way for me to share her growth with her first mom, so that there is a difference there. But again, people don't ask the questions before they make the statements or before they send the DMs or before they start the narrative, and so I have pulled back in that way. And so it is not always fun for me to post, and there have been times that I've gone like weeks without posting. Like my team will post, or there will be scheduled posts. I'm not actually posting just because I have to unplug. Let's see, what else do I wish that I knew? There are going to be people that you're really going to build relationship with off of these social media apps. Like because you really don't think about that. Like, you're like, oh, you know, maybe I'll connect with some people and we'll talk online, it'll be cool, but we'll never have like real relationship outside of that. Not true. Some of my favorite people I have met on Instagram or Facebook, and it has literally changed my life, but it's also changed my perspective, right? You can meet someone anywhere. You can build relationship anywhere, and I have loved it. You guys have seen Anna multiple times. Anna and I met from a slide in the DMs. Like, she accidentally messaged me. We were in like a group chat. I think it was Black Christian influencers. We were a part of that, and she accidentally messaged me, just me, and we ended up getting super close. One of my favorite people. Be open to things. Like, I wish that I had known that. Like, I was super rigid in my outlook. Like, you're just gonna post and then you pull back and, you know, go live your life. But there's actually real connection there, and you will build friendships and relationships that probably will go with you for forever if you nurture them well. And so that was a thing for me. Like, I wish that I had known that beforehand, because I may have missed some opportunities. I may have missed some opportunities before, right? So, food break. Okay. What else? Oh, real talk. Yo, it is incredibly hard to schedule time to shoot content, create content, plan content. It is hard. It is really hard, especially when you're not doing this full time. So I have a 9 to 5, right? And then my team has a 9 to 5. And so this is not the first thing that we're doing. And it is very difficult to get enough content sometimes, it feels, to put out there, to stay relevant, to stay connected. It is difficult. You think that it's easy to grab a camera and record or take pictures. It's not at all. And it's really difficult, because then you have to have someone who edits it, and then you have to review it and then put it out. And so it's also really difficult to record when you live in a real house. That was Robbie. Robbie, you want to come say hi? So he just dropped something. So it's difficult. It's a lot more difficult. It's also really difficult to get quality content. So many of you have been asking for the favorite things. Y'all, I don't know how many times I have sat down and recorded this, and it's just not what I want it to be. And not because I need it to be perfect, but I just don't feel like it's it. And it's weird, because you would think that that's a super thing, just hold up the things you like. And again, remember we talked about, like, there's just some anxiety about some of the things that you post and don't post, because again, when you start talking about your favorite things, there's also access to your personal life. And so you have to decide, like, how much of this do I want to share of actually me? It's not just products. These are things that I'm using in my everyday. Why am I using them in my everyday? People trying to count your coins for you. Like, it's a lot of different things that I take into consideration. So that video is there. It just ain't there. Like, it's there, but it's not there. Does that make sense? Like, I don't know how to explain it, but it is very difficult to get content together. And then I think one of the other things that I wish I knew before I started this is that this is, you know, it's me. It's not necessarily my family. So just like I don't require my children to be a part of this unless they want to. So sometimes they want to be on camera. Sometimes they want to, and I ask them before I ever put them on. So anytime you see them on PGC, anytime you see them on the vlogs, I ask them, hey, y'all cool? Like, that's the thing. But there's also reality, like, again, my husband's not a big social media person, but he's starting to get into doing the videos with me. But he's not necessarily going to be posting. My siblings are not super huge on posting, so this is not a thing for them to be super involved in. You know, like, there's just, it's me, this is mine. And so you can't have this expectation that everybody's going to jump to participate or enjoy it. Sometimes they'll want to do it and sometimes they won't. And so you kind of have to just factor that in, which is why there's not, like, sometimes I'll plan like some content, but it doesn't work out because they're not necessarily into it at that moment. And there's nothing wrong with that. It's just what it is. My husband's coming in and out, y'all. He's making so much noise. So much noise.
So much noise. You're welcome.
Thanks. And I think the other thing is that you are not gonna have, as a faith influencer, the brands reaching out to you like they do to lifestyle influencers or artists or whatever at all. So the partnerships that you're wanting, sponsorships, things like that, like, it's not the same. It's not the same because they don't, your messaging doesn't necessarily connect in the same way. Because again, a lot of lifestyle influencers are people of faith, but they don't focus their reach on faith. Does that make sense? Like, they focus it on the clothes or the companies or whatever, and all of that's good because we need that too, right? But mine focuses on the faith. It focuses on the relationships, and so my messaging is very different from theirs, and so brands gravitate this way instead of over here, and so that's very different. And so I had all these hopes and dreams. Oh, you know, after a couple of years I could do this full time, it'll be great. Oh, whatever. And thankfully I didn't get into this for the money. Like, I really didn't. But it was surprising to me that I have maybe 2 or 3 like different brand opportunities in a span of 5 years. Let that sink in. There's also a reality that just in general, like, getting traction with people is just very different. Again, and we talked about that in the very beginning. So just something to consider, like, when you're thinking about making this like a thing for you, like how it'll flow can be very different than what you think you're seeing on social media. It can be very different. And there's nothing wrong with that. It's just knowing that. So I think those are the main things that I want to share with you that I wish I knew before I jumped into faith influencing. I hope that you enjoyed this mini little chat. Let me know if there's other questions or things that popped into your head while I was talking, and I'd be happy to answer them in the comments below. Make sure again that you subscribed, that you hit the notification bell so you're always notified when a new video goes up, and then check back on Monday for the newest episode of Pretty Good Coffee. It's gonna be good. You know that we love to kickstart our week together. And we're growing the Pretty Crew. So make sure you're telling your girls to subscribe as well so that they're not missing out on all this good time, this good girl time together. And then I'll see you in February at the Hey Pretty conference in Ocala, Florida, because you're gonna get your ticket at heyprettylife.com. Okay, that's it. Bye, pretty.